Hello again, everyone. Deflect here, Firm but Fair Gaming. We have some big news on the M Plus front, and also a shit ton of PTR class changes, tuning, all that fun stuff. So, I know a lot of people are here for the class tuning. That's what the video is about. But before we get into that, huge M Plus news with the new Resilient Keystone achievement. This is what a lot of people have been calling for, asking for, looking for. Instead of depleting your keys down to nothing and have to bring them all the way back up, they will stop depleting. So once you get all 12s, your key can no longer deplete to below a 12. Good change. You will only have to bring it up one level. So if you have all 12s, you were doing, let's say you had a 15 key, which would be good, but you would eventually have to have a 13 and blah, blah. Anyway, long story. Your key cannot go back past a 12. So even if you deplete it, groups, whatever, it can only go to a 12. Now, what this might incentivize is doing one key at a time. So you have a 12, you two chests, you go to a 14, try the 14, you don't do it, do the 13. But if it goes back down, it does only go to a 12, then you only have to bump it up one level. Good change, huge change, amazing change on the M Plus front. And this goes all the way up to level 25. I'm sure if they're pushing past 25, it'll probably go past 25, but just to let you know, it goes all the way up to 25. Now, huge class changes, and this is going to take a little while, so buckle in because there's a lot going on. Death Knight, Obliterate damage increased by 20, Frost Strike 15, Rhyme goes, goes to 275, was 225, Breath of Synagorosa, 10% increase, and then the tier set mastery for 12 seconds instead of 6. Instead of haste. Unholy, Death Coil increased by 15, Apocalypse Ghoul by 25, Magnus of the Dead 15, Soul Reaper 35, Clawing Shadows and Scourge Strike 15. Does not affect Vampiric Strike. Demon Hunter, Immolation Aura 6, Sigil of Flame 6. Now that is for both Demon Hunters, and we'll get into the other changes down. Demon Surge from Fellscarred increased by 40, Burning Blades 50, was 35, and Flamebound is 30 instead of 25. So all buffs all around so far for the top two. DKs aren't getting much change, so expect them to be really good next season. Havoc. Havoc is getting some big increases. Demonic Presence effectiveness by 25. Soulscar damage reduced to 80% of your throw glaive was 100. So a small nerf there to Soulscar. Fire Inside now causes Immolation Aura to deal chaos damage instead of fire. Okay. Cycle of Hatred. Don't care. It's out of combat. Fix an issue. Fix an issue. Don't care. Fellscarred and Enduring Torment now increases Blade Dance and Chaos Strike damage while not in demon form by 15 was 10. Vengeance, Burning Blood bonus to fire damage reduced to 8 was 10. Fiery Demise bonus to fire damage dealt to targets affected by fiery brands reduced to 15 and 30 was 20 and 40. So some nerfs to Vengeance, but Vengeance is in a crazy spot right now, but it was kind of glitched, so maybe the tier set is working properly. Balancer, this one boggled my brain when I saw it this morning. I know their single target's a little lower, but Star Surge damage increased by 5, Power of Goldrin damage increased by 100%, and Touch of the Cosmos increased to 18 from 15 and 25 from 22. So balanced Druid buffs and balanced Druids are nutty. This will only help them go up higher and higher. Feral Druid, all damage increased by 8%. They're okay. They're going to be probably mid right now. Nothing too crazy, even with the 8% damage increase. They're better in lower keys because their damage, like everything dies quick enough that they have everything back for each package type thing. Type idea. It's not exactly that, but it's close. We'll go with that basic reason. Beastmaster, this is going to be insane. Beastmaster, I foresee it getting nerfed on the PTR. Beastmaster is doing nuts for damage. More single target than AoE. But this is Bestial Wrath by an extra 5%, Kill Command by 10%, and then their tier set 4-piece bonus Reduce the cooldown Bestial Wrath by 0.5 was 1 second. So they're kind of compensating there. And now it lasts 8 seconds instead of 10. So minor nerfs to the tier set, little buffs to their damage on other ways. So it's probably going to equal out. I haven't crunched the full numbers. Aim shot damage increased by 5% for marksman. Spotter damage up to 20 was 10. And wind runner quiver precision shot to 90 was 80. Mage, this was interesting. Excess fire may stack up to 2 times. Cooldown reduction of excess fire has been reduced to 3 seconds, was 5. So it's kind of a nerf here, but a buff because it now stacks up to 2 times. Arcane Barrage damage increased by 10%. They can never balance that. Arcane Barrage is either too far one way or the other. It's never really in the center. Frostfire. Phoenix Flames cooldown reduction reduced to 5 seconds, was 10 seconds. Frostfire damage reduced by 10%, and excessive Frost Ice Nova decreased to 150 was 200. So Frostfire specifically is getting nerfed. Frost, Wintertide damage bonus reduced to 2% was 4. And Frostfire infusion damage reduced by 10%. And excessive Nova, again, down 150 was 200. So both Fire and Frost are getting nerfs specifically to their hero talent, Frostfire side, and then Frost is also getting a small nerf to Wintertide. Brewmaster, Evoke Nizao, whatever you pronounce that, now absorbs 40% of stagger damage while active was 25. Stomp damage increased by 22%. Nobody took this talent. It was a dead talent in the center of your tree, so maybe it's useful now. We'll see how that goes. Mistweaver, I actually pounded out the numbers on this because I wanted to see on 5 target. It is a small nerf on 5 target, even with the buffs to the cleave. It's not huge, but it is still really useful in multi-target, I guess. And that's at 5 target. It's just a small decrease. Small nerf on multi-target, and then if it's above 5 and it can hit more than 5, it might be even better. Liberation set bonus insurance healing increased by 15%. That's always nice. Fixed an issue that it was sometimes healing more than intended. Okay, hopefully it just balances out now. And then Paladin, an issue causing Hammerfall not to proc hammer and overlapping procs have been resolved. Perfect. That's good for Templar. Holy, Word of Glory healing increased by 15%. Hammer and Anvil decreased by 33% healing. And Light of Dawn healing increased by 12%. So I guess they want you to play Word of Glory, Light of Dawn, not Hammer of Anvil as much. Rogue. Roll the Bones chance to roll a 5 buff increased to 2% was 1. Sleight of Hand now grants 20% increased chance of granting additional matches was 16. And their tier set now grants 40% increased chance of granting additional matches was 16. So some big buffs to Outlaw. And huge buffs coming to Warrior after they nerfed the piss out of them in Season 1. They still weren't completely awful, but, they were not what they were at the beginning of the season. We'll put it that way. So, this is all increases. Mortal Strike by 20, Overpower by 20, Dreadnought by 20, Cleave damage by 10, Execute by 10, Slam damage by 30, Colossal and Warbreaker Revenue Visualization, and Warbreaker area effect is now centered around 1 yard in front of Warrior to better align with the visuals. Fury, all buffs. Rampage, 20. Raging Blow, 20. Crushing Blow, 20. Bloodthirst, 20. Bloodbath, 20. Odin's Fury, 15. These are massive buffs. They are just insane buffs here. So we'll see where they land. Hopefully, Fury and Arms are back. We'll just take a quick look. I forget what they were on Archon, where they rated. We'll go to DPS because I don't care with the IO people. That's set groups. So as you can see, they were down here. And they got buffed. We'll go through the wrap up here in a second. And then Prot Warrior Barbaric training no longer increases rage cost of revenge. Execute damage by 10. Frothing Berserk now has a chance to refund. 50% of rage spent on revenge was 25. Fixed an issue. Liberation, luck of the draw duration increased to 12 seconds was 10. Shield charge reduction increased to 12 seconds was 6. And modified seal slam critical strike chance. Okay. So, all buffs for warriors. Big time buffs. These warriors got buffed. Havoc got buffed. Arcane didn't see anything. Beastmaster got buffed. Marksman got buffed. That leaves Shadow Priest, Arcane, Windwalker, all on the 1.6 and below. And the Warlocks, who just got bypassed this edition. So hopefully we'll see something next one for them. That would be nice. Healers coming into it. Now this, remember, this is season 1, so things do change. A lot is changing. But season 1, Mistweaver got a little look at. Holy Paladin's kind of a little looked at. Druid last week got buffed. So we'll see where everything lands next coming up. And then tanking. Oops, I clicked on DPS again. Warrior got huge buffs. Brewmaster got some buffs to some dead talents. Don't know if it's going to be worth playing it yet. And then Demon Hunter got nerfed because on the PTR, they're just nuts. They are nuts with Blood Decay is really good on the PTR too. So that is wrapping it up for the PTR coming up changes that just dropped yesterday. This is early morning on the 29th. And then don't forget the new Resilient Keystone achievement where it can no longer deplete once you have all keys done at that level. Amazing achievement. And if you have any questions, as always, leave a comment below. Like, share, subscribe. Deflect, Firm but Fair Gaming. We'll see you in the next video.